Warning. This podcast is about the horror genre, specifically horror films. As most horror movies are filled with coarse language, violence and/or gore, the topics and language of the cast of the pod will also reflect the genre. If you have any issues with the aforementioned warnings, please press stop. But if you have no issue with adult language, movie violence, or the accoutrement that accompanies horror films, please feel free to continue. You have been warned.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the cast of the pod. I don't know what number this is. Deb, do you know what number this is? It's like 6. 5 or 6. Yeah, because Land of the Dead was last week, and this week it is ORCA. We are joined today by friend of the pod, friend of us, Chuckles. Deb.
What?
You didn't introduce yourself.
Oh, hi everybody. I'm Deb.
I'm Josh. And with us today, I already said, spoiler alert, Chuckles. Hey Chuckles, how you doing over there?
A what? What's going on, guys?
Did you notice you were in the intro?
Yes, I did. I enjoyed it. In fact, when I listen to your podcast, once that's over, I turn it off.
I don't doubt that, to be honest with you.
No, actually, I listen to all of them because I like long podcasts, especially to my drives to and from work. So I really enjoy these podcasts.
I don't know, but I'm hearing Chuckles say, you know what? Good or bad or horrible or not, as long as people are talking for a long distance as I drive to work, that's all I care about.
Yes, that's true. 100%.
Way to go, Chuckles. But today we are doing a movie that you requested. And honestly, it's a movie that Deb and I had never seen before. I knew of the movie and I had heard about it and everything was great and all that, you know, over the years. And then we saw the movie.
So that's totally different.
The movie we are discussing today is the 1977 adventure, drama, horror. And as you know, one of the prerequisites of the cast of the pod is that the movie be a horror movie. And we are using IMDb the majority of the time to tell us about the movies. And as long as in the top 3 you have horror, then for us it qualifies as a horror movie. Chuckles.
Yes.
Well, first of all, let's start off with you. Since Deb and I don't have any memories of this movie, actually I do have a couple of memories about it, but you start off. What is ORCA for you?
Okay, ORCA is Death Wish in the ocean.
Death Wish in the ocean?
The movie Death Wish is Charles Bronson, and the killer whale is Charles Bronson. Am I wrong?
You are not wrong.
I'm a humongous Charles Bronson fan. I'm also a big Jaws fan. Everyone knows that. What got me to ORCA is when I originally saw the movie poster for ORCA, where it's a giant whale and these people are like the size of ants trying to kill this whale with harpoons and shit on the cover. And I was like, I want to see that. And I had my mom rent it for me at, I think it was Hollywood Video.
Hollywood Video.
Exactly. What was that song for Hollywood Video? I couldn't remember.
I don't know.
Because I know, wow, what a difference. Blockbuster Video. But I can't remember Hollywood Video.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Hollywood Video is probably in Spanish.
Hola, puedo hablar con... Hello, may I speak to Hollywood Video?
To Hollywood Video.
Yeah. And Hollywood Video always had like enchilada sauce on their tapes.
Dude, Hollywood Video, you would walk in and the first thing you would see, and then later on they had it at Blockbuster. You'd walk into Hollywood Video and they had pickles.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They had pickles in that little sealed thing of like juice. I know somebody, but it definitely was not me, for real. I'm not even being tongue in cheek about it. But I knew somebody that would just drink the pickle juice.
You know what was
straight out the pouch?
The worst thing you could buy from a video store?
What was that?
The popcorn that was already in a bucket.
That was already popped?
No, it was like
the kernels?
Yeah, and you put the whole bucket in the microwave. That shit burnt like 90% of the time.
So you were saying about ORCA.
ORCA, yeah. So ORCA is like, wow. I mean, at the time, we didn't have SeaWorld.
Correct. Well,
when I saw the cover, or I'd never been to SeaWorld.
Now, this movie came out in 1977.
I probably saw it when I was maybe 5 or 6.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was like 1985 or 1986.
I was born before this movie came out, but I don't remember the movie until years later when I was reading comic books.
Well, here's the thing.
And there was that ad, the poster that we're looking for at it right now on IMDb, which it almost looks like a wanted poster because it's got like 4 paragraphs of stuff on it. It says Orca, the killer whale. Then it's got a little picture, the one where you were talking about.
That was pretty much the trailer, the most intelligent creature on the universe. That was the narrator doing that in the commercial. So
right.
They put it on the poster as well. But my mom was a humongous horror fan, so every time we go to the video store, it was either the kids section, which is like all the Disney stuff, or the horror stuff, because that's where my mom was at.
Right.
And I used to be afraid to go down the horror section, you know. But my mom was always there, so since I'm holding her hand, that's when I saw this cover, the one we're looking at right here with the killer whale smashing the giant boat and the guy jumping on him like this is Sparta.
You know what they're trying to do, right? They're trying to show him as Ishmael, as Moby Dick.
Yeah, well, here's a funny thing, too. Orcas are not even whales.
What are they?
They're dolphins.
What? Why are they called killer whales?
I have maybe because they kill whales. They have known to kill whales.
So you're saying that killer whales are not whales?
No, they're the largest member in the dolphin family.
I'm gonna have to look that up at another time.
Look it up right now. Shit.
No, we're in a time constraint. This is a podcast. You know, podcasts can't just stop to do other stuff. Quick, y'all talk about something else while I search that.
Hey, Deborah, what comes after 3?
2.
That's a spirit. You're supposed to say 4.
Oh, 4. You mean the right answer?
Okay, according to Google, though called killer whales, orcas are not whales. They are the largest dolphin species. Whalers call the orca the killer of whales. It preys on sperm, grayfin, humpback, and other whales. It preys on sperm whales, gray whales, fin whales, humpback whales, and other whales.
Sound like a bunch of dudes I know on the west side.
Chuckles, did you Google this right before you said it?
Yeah, because you literally almost said it word for word.
No,
Chuckles was driving over here.
No, seriously.
Driving his car, which is standard. And he had his phone up, and he's shifting gears and typing on his phone with it in front of his face while he's driving down the highway.
Definition of killer whale.
I definitely known this since I was like 10.
What?
Yeah.
So killer whales are not whales. Hold on. Hey, Google. Are killer whales whales?
According to Wikipedia, the orca or killer whale is a toothed whale belonging to the oceanic dolphin family, of which it is the largest member.
They call him Flipper.
Wow.
That's some interesting.
Remember, I did wanted to become a marine biologist when I was a kid. That was my ambition until I found out I was Mexican.
Oh, you Chuckles, you can be Hispanic and Mexican.
No, it's automatically when you turn 12, you have to have a family, about 4 kids, and you have to be about 200 pounds overweight and a really bad sunburn, and you're supposed to smell like your breath smells like beer and cigars.
The thoughts and views of Chuckles do not necessarily represent the thoughts and views of the cast of the pod. The cast of this pod is not responsible for the comments made by its guest, and the guests speak wholly for them and themselves only.
You have been warned.
You have been warned.
If they don't know me by now.
Oh, man. So let's go back to Orca.
Yeah, so going to the video store, I saw the cover, which was the exact same cover that we're looking at.
It's an amazing photo.
I love it. I was like, wow. And I was expecting this giant-ass whale. And
smashing through the ports and destroying piers.
Yeah, I was like, Godzilla in water. Well, it's underwater.
Yeah.
Godzilla as a whale.
It says on the screen, Orca, the killer whale.
And
the killer whale is one of the most intelligent creatures in the universe. Incredibly, he is the only animal other than the man who kills for revenge. He has one mate, and if she is harmed by man, he will hunt down that person with a relentless, terrible vengeance across the seas, across time, across all obstacles.
Orca. Well, yeah.
All that's on one poster.
Yeah, and that was the commercial. If you watch the trailer, if you look up the trailer right now, it's going to say the exact same thing.
With much better voicing.
Yes. Well, yeah, because the guy who did the trailer for this also did the trailer for Jaws.
That did. Oh.
Did he go dun?
No, he's like, it's like the devil gave him, like God gave the devil Jaws. You know, that part, you know, that guy, I can't do it.
Okay, anyways. So, and then you got the movie. You
I told my mom,
the
is like, can I get this movie? She's like, well, if you get this one, you can't get the other one. So I put Care Bears back and got this one. And
Care Bear Stare!
The first 10 minutes of the movie, spoiler alert.
Yes, we are going to be talking about a movie that is 43 years old. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it yet.
It kills a great white shark.
Dude, okay, so since we're going to get into it, when the movie starts, right?
Mm-hmm.
First thing it shows is two whales jumping out of the water simultaneously, and you realize that it's the same shot, just flipped for the other side. And then it's badly chroma keyed onto the screen, so you can tell that they filmed the whale in like a black background coming out of the water, and they used it for the graphics. But they forgot that Orca was also black and white,
like what they did with the dolphins in Jaws 3 at the end.
So yeah, worse.
God.
It looks like if you're as old as me, back when they were weathermen back there, back when the weatherman first learned about green screen and accidentally wore a green tie.
I'm a floating head.
Ooh. You know, that type of stuff. So, and then it cuts to music that's like
70s greatness.
And then it shows two whales just
That's what Josh sounds in the morning.
And they're all like rolling around, and they got their little dorsal fins where they're hugging each other. And they're all like whale slamming at the beginning of the movie.
Hey, well, fuck it, man.
And then Deborah, what did you say?
I said, what the hell? We're watching like some whale love
70
story porno thing? What the fuck?
The
what are
whale's
you
like
talking about? I said, it looks like they're having sex. We're watching whales have sex.
Did you order this whale pizza? I can't pay for it.
And Josh goes, they're just swimming around. I'm like, okay, whatever.
And it starts off with this sound effect. So let me. Here it goes right here.
That's a SeaWorld.
That's what I said.
And so it's got these whales jumping out of different angles, and it cuts to the sun, and you can tell whoever had the camera on their arm just like went to the left. And so they're showing stock footage of whales in whatever, like Chuckles said, type of SeaWorld there. And they're just rolling around all happy. All happy.
Yeah, and like I said, the same thing. That's why Death Wish started. Hey, wife and daughter, what's going on?
So 3 minutes of whale sex. You know.
And that's when the boat comes around.
And then it shows the chroma key of both of them shooting out of the water. Right?
And then like, da-da-dong, here's a great white shark because Jaws happened last year. Or probably the same month. What year this come? No, 2 years.
2 years before.
Here comes a great white shark. And I'm like, yes, there's a shark. And I'm like a little kid. And then he's like, and he fucking like super uppercuts the shark 10 feet in the air.
You know, that's the thing. Charlotte Rampling, who was a sex symbol at the time, along with Bo Derek, who was in this movie. I didn't realize it was Bo Derek, by the way. Spoiler
just
alert.
Imagine her vagina is like super hairy.
Spoiler alert. Her leg gets bit off. They don't say she dies or not, but her whole leg at the hip gets torn off.
Good.
She's got bad luck with her leg, and we'll get to that point in a second. But so she's in the water. You don't know it's her, right? And she's doing oceanographer stuff. And in her scuba gear, and you don't know it's a female either. I don't think you can really tell it's a female at the at that point.
I mean,
it was very androgynous, and so then she sees this great white shark coming towards her, And they're showing, by now everybody's already scared of Jaws, and they're thinking of Jaws, and they're like, oh, she's messed up. And it's a huge shark.
Yeah, it's like a good 15-foot shark.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, here's this other boat, the Bumpo boat. And she starts swimming up to the surface of the water, and the shark's coming for her, and the Bumpo boat's going to shoot her. Not shoot her, but shoot the shark. Because did they explain how they're making money off the sharks?
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
They get paid so much for the sharks or whatever. Anyways, and then she gets in the way, so they don't shoot the shark, and they're like, ah. And then the boat goes up to them. They're like, come up here, and they come to find out that the guy, the captain of the boat, of the Bumpo, is the ex-professor of the lady, Charlotte Rampling, just coincidentally, who was out there doing oceanographer save the world stuff, while her former professor is doing oceanography, kill the whale, kill any kind of animal stuff, coincidentally. And he's like, oh, we'll come up on the boat. And then the guy that's in the boat with her, he's like, yeah, I'll stay out here for no apparent reason on this little inflatable lifeboat. You get on the boat with these complete strangers that
I'll come back for you later.
I don't realize that's your professor yet, but you go ahead, lady. Go ahead. It's the 70s. Nothing bad's going to happen. And then the boat takes off, the full-size Bumpo boat, which had no engines going on or anything like that. And it just takes off. And then the guy's like, all right, now let me start my life raft. And it doesn't work at all. And then he just happens to 1970s blunk into the water. It was like Scooby-Doo sound effects. Blunk into the water. And then they show the shark who was swimming away. He had the fin, the dorsal fin. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah, the dorsal fin.
He had the dorsal fin over the water when he was chasing after the lady. So the guy knows that there's a shark in the water. They saved the girl already, but he's like, leave me in this inflatable inner tube with saran wrap on the bottom.
I'll be fine.
I'll be okay. And he still falls into the water. And then the shark who's swimming away is like, well, I guess I didn't get my lunch today. I'm just going to swim away.
No, you got to do a better grizzly sea captain than that.
Well, no, because he wasn't a sea captain.
Well, sea guy.
It was a George Carlin shark. I'm not eating today, so I'm just going to go off my own direction.
I really pictured that shark sounding like Rufus.
Rufus. No, it was a very intelligent shark. Because as soon as he's
Rufus is very intelligent.
As soon as he's like, I'm not eating. Then the guy falls off the boat and hits the water, and the sound effects is like boom, which is like a rock hitting a wall. And then they show the shark, and the shark's eye gets bigger, and he's like, "What the hell was that?"
Let me go investigate.
Yeah, and he turns around and starts swimming towards the guy. And you know that they wanted to they wanted to do that, and the guy's all like, oh, and then within 1 second, the boat is like 8 meters away from him. It was like, just within arm's reach, and they're like, "No, there's a shark!" And they're trying to bring up the spear gun.
Hurry up, guy!
Yeah, come to find out, did you know that guy was the nerd from Revenge of the Nerds, the main guy?
No way.
Yes.
Yeah, Carradine. What's his name? Robert
way.
Carradine. Yeah.
Let me see a screenshot.
I'll show you in a little bit. Yeah. But and then right before the shark gets him, Chuckles, what happens?
Fucking Hadouken by a killer whale.
Hadouken!
It was like not the regular Hadouken. It was a
level 3.
It was like, the whole screen turned black and all these Japanese letters came down from the side.
The kanji started coming out, the screen turned yellow, and then he hit the shark and it went.
And his eyes got little.
And there was like the demon symbol in the background.
You know that the people that made this movie, that was their fuck your Jaws.
Yeah,
movie.
that was exactly why they put it in there.
That was their moment of Jaws ain't shit. Ladies and gentlemen, as we've recorded this, we're 18 minutes into it. This is the first 4 minutes of ORCA.
When it
I
fuck-
was
and
laughing
then
through this whole movie.
the lady was like, "There's only one creature in the world can be able to do that to a shark."
Yeah, and the whale, the not whale, the orca doesn't even come out of the water. So you don't know, because the shark just goes bloop into the air.
I mean, if I saw a shark,
Holy shit, it's a flying shark!
well, there is flying sharks. You know, when they jump out there off the coast of South Africa, they jump and catch seals, but they breach water maybe about a couple feet. This guy must have fell like 14 stories.
And it was like sideways just in the air.
It's like they got a real shark and dropped it 150 feet from the helicopter. We got our shot.
Sir, the shark is dead. But we got the shot. It's okay.
Please tell me you got it.
This was the 70s, back when it was okay to kill animals and children on film. It was okay, you know. It just
Yeah, it was
And say
disgusting.
racist
there was no laws or rules or anything like that. Who cares if people were hurt or maimed or killed or zonified, not zonified, but ostracized, and you know, it's okay. It's all for a movie.
No one's gonna complain.
I enjoyed it when I was a kid. But when I first saw that scene, I was like, motherfuckers. I was like, and then that's what I saw. I mean, I never seen a killer whale before. And I'm like, man, that looks like a fat dick.
What?
Fat
You
black
were a
and
kid.
white dick with
When you were a
fins.
kid, you
That's what you
that.
thought is. Wow. Okay.
Well, here's a personal story. I thought
The
it was
thoughts
I thought it was my
and
cousin's
views.
penis because it was uncircumcised.
No, hey, too much information. Back on to Orca.
Hey, she was fine with it. She had two of them.
No,
They used to go on the other.
Stop. This is not the old podcast. This is another podcast.
But this is still me.
We can't go
Come
back
on,
and
I'm
read
not
it.
changing much.
So now this is something that I found very interesting.
What's that?
The main orcas used for the filming were trained animals from Marine Land of the Pacific and Marine World Africa, which was Six
They
Flags
closed that
Discovery
down
Camp.
already.
Yes, especially Marine Land of the Pacific. Though artificial whales of rubber were also used. These models were so lifelike that animal rights activists blocked trucks delivering the animatronic whales to the set, thinking real whales were in them. I'm picturing a flatbed 18-wheeler with a dry-ass whale being shipped across the country, and people are like, oh my God, they're going to kill the whales,
That's
not noticing that they weren't in water.
That sounds like the one where that Steven Spielberg took a picture with the Triceratops from Jurassic Park.
And people were mad that he was being mean to the
He
Triceratops.
hunted a Triceratops. How could you? I mean, it kind of feels good. No, hold on.
Okay.
It kind of feels good.
Shit.
It kind of feels good that there is dummies back in the 70s as much as there is now.
Okay, let's get back into the story.
So we know who had kids.
So we're not a podcast that rates movies or anything like that, but I could not stand this movie.
Really?
As much as we're talking about it, the cheesiness was, and we got to the end and we lost audio in the last 30 minutes, so we didn't even get to finish.
Wait, hold on. You're bypassing all the good stuff.
No. Okay, so let's get back to what happens. So they're showing the sexual tension between the college professor and his former student. And it's Richard Harris, right? Yes. He was 46 at the time. And he looked like a good age 46, because this was like Hollywood 46. So he only looked like he was 52.
I'm pretty sure he had an Iggy Pop stomach.
He
I thought he looked like Crocodile Dundee.
Paul Hogan.
Yeah.
But he didn't look like Crocodile Dundee from then. He looks like Crocodile Dundee now.
Crocodile Dundee look leathery as fuck.
Don't talk bad about Crocodile Dundee. Paul Hogan is a saint. That's all I'm gonna say. Fuck this movie. Fuck this movie, Orca, the killer whale. And 2 points up. Big shout out to Paul Hogan, Crocodile Dundee. I'll watch Crocodile Dundee 6. They only made what, 2 of them?
Yes.
They need to make
there's
3,
actually
4.
3 of them.
Oh, there's 3?
No, there's 4. There's 4.
Is he in all of them?
Yeah, he's in all 4.
Okay, well, we're going to find him. We're going to watch all of them and find a way to send him some money. Because Paul Hogan is a saint. Anyways, back to
You
Orca.
sound like that guy from, Devil's Rejects? You talk about Elvis Presley again.
Talk about Paul Hogan one more time, and I swear I'm gonna punch you in the face and end up hitting you with my elbow the way that he taught those kids and Paul Hogan taught those kids when they were in like the orphanage, and the nun was there and he's showing them how to fight, and he's like, oh, but if you're gonna fight Teddy, you go ahead and hit him with the elbow too, and anyways, so back to Orca as we get into the 5th minute of the movie.
The 5th minute.
So after they show all the tension between the teacher and the college professor and the graduate.
No one cared about those scenes at all.
No. So then she's like, I know you. You're going to kill all these whales just to catch one whale. And he's like, no, I'm not. Basically 8 minutes go by, which translates to him going, no, I'm not. You don't know me.
Take that back.
And then the first thing they do, they go out there and it's the same whale that saved Revenge of the Nerds. Right? Mm-hmm. And he sees him. He's like, there she blows, a hump like a snow hill. It'd be Moby Dick. And he shoots his harpoon and it grazes the dorsal fin of the male. Mm-hmm. Just like when you see somebody in an action movie and they get shot in the head, they're like, ugh! And you're like, no, they just killed off character number 3. And then he gets up and his ears just barely grazed. So there's this little nick on the dorsal fin.
It's just a little nick.
It's just a scratch.
Just but a scratch.
And then you hear... And he's like, my God, what is that? And she's like,
female.
She's like, you missed the male and hit the female. And she's like,
and they really talk like that too.
Just screaming and screaming and screaming.
It's like, let's put her over in misery and hang her up.
She's like going in circles and rolling
flipping
around.
Now let you know that's that part where they actually hung her up and the baby pops out.
Wait. Chuckles, storytelling, Chuckles, storytelling.
Okay,
then watch the movie.
Deb, say what you're gonna say.
So, no, go ahead. You say it better.
Well, they show right before this scene. I forgot to tell you. They show another college professor talking about how they have this great photographic memory and how they're whales. And apparently we just learned that they aren't really whales. And then they show how close they are to humans. And they show even in utero, the baby has 2 arms with 5 little fingers. And it looks like a garbanzo bean picture with fin hands, with each one of the 5 little fingertips touching each other.
It looked like the crying baby from Eraserhead.
And the picture, the drawing they show, I swear the orca's going, excellent. Excellent. Shave your sideburns. So then they back to the scene where they're in the ocean and they lift the whale up.
You forgot that she tried to commit suicide.
Oh, yes! The whale, after getting shot right underneath the dorsal fin, swims full speed to the boat. They're like, what is she doing? She's still screaming. She swims into the propellers, the blades of the boat. And the ocean's filling with blood. She's screaming.
They're like, pull her up.
He's like, what is she doing? And the lady on the boat's like, she's trying to commit suicide.
Dun, dun, dun.
The whale was just having like the worst day ever. And when she got harpooned, she's like, fuck this.
So I'm done.
You didn't take me out, so I'm going to take myself out.
So in order to save herself from killing herself, they drag her out of the water with the boat crane, and they have her hanging upside down, and she's... I'm not going to be able to talk because of the sound effects I'm trying to do. I should have just recorded that. Anyways, And then as she's hanging up down there, and they're looking, and he has this look. Richard Harris has this look of disgust. Oh my God! Look at how it's all destroyed and cut up and bloody. And
You're like, you did them.
oh, the humanity, the whaleality of the whale hanging from here. It's disgusting. It's like, dude, yeah, this is what you did. This is,
No, I didn't.
don't be judging other people. I can't believe this whale tried to kill itself after
You
we.
just try to kill it.
And so as they're there, then all of a sudden this giant garbanzo bean comes out of the whale-gina. And it falls onto the, and it's got its little excellent fingers. And it's on it's there. And what does he do? Oh my God.
Don't forget the male whale that's out in the water.
Dude,
There's a lot of
the male whale, he sticks his head over the water. Yeah, slow motion.
There's also a lot of close up on the whale's eyes.
Yes,
no. We'll get to that in a second. Welcome to the horror podcast, Cast of the Pod, by the way, because this is all this is horror, and apparently the horror in Oracle is short for horrible. But
I told Josh when we saw the whatever it was,
the embryo, the zygote, the baby.
When we saw it fall
whale.
out, I said, "You see, I told you they were having sex."
Yeah, at the beginning of the movie, it just needed 9 months later. So he's like, "Oh my God, what is that?" And they're like, "It's the baby."
He
And
got all sad.
he's like, "Get it off my boat." Then they bring out the water hoses and they start hosing it. Get away! Get away! And it falls into the water. And they're like, "Okay, let's just drive away."
This is a short version of Finding Nemo.
And when they drive away, they show the whale. And the whale sees him.
And they're looking at each other.
And then they stop frame the footage of his eye, and it has Richard Harris superimposed over the eye, like he sees him, and his eye goes.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
In 1977, 4 sailors were on a boat. 2 whales were just having a good time on their own. Then the ship decided it was going to do what it should not have done. Anyways, so
Why don't you keep on going and do the rest of the podcast like that?
And then they cut away from the shark. Well, they cut back on the shark
whale.
and the whale. No, I'm thinking of Jaws. They did their job. They got people confused, and they're like, "It's Jaws 2, the whale."
Jaws to the whale.
And then they show the shark, and then there's red lights, and then white lights, and red lights, right. And I'm picturing. No. I'm picturing Kill Bill.
That's where they got it from.
He stole it from ORCA.
So, don't let our enjoyment of describing this garbage
You need to go.
convince you to watch this. Now, I mean, if you want to go watch it, that's up to you. Don't let us hold you back, but don't do it.
It's a good cheesy film.
It was a funny movie.
Bro, I'm going to have to disagree with you, even though we don't do reviews here on Cast of the
Wait,
Pod.
hold on. Okay, hold on.
Okay, go
Yeah,
ahead.
you can talk. You can say, yeah, this is total garbage. There's definitely movies that are worse than this movie out here. At least this movie was entertaining.
No, it wasn't, but you are correct. There are movies that are far worse. Far worse.
But this movie was super entertaining, man. A fucking whale gina and excellent baby and Death Wish.
And we're 9 minutes into the movie now. So then they go back to this is a funny part. They go back to land, and the
And then the movie's over because they're on land.
Charlotte
I know,
Rampling,
right?
Charlotte Rampling, which is Rachel Bedford. They find her the next day. Oh, I didn't even tell you this part.
The whole movie, just like the funny parts.
We need to explain these parts. So after they make the whale try to kill herself, after they bring the whale up on the crane, after the miscarriage happens, right? After they hose it off the deck, they're like, never mind, cut her loose.
We don't want her.
After they've caused all this emotional damage and everything like that, they cut the whale loose.
She lost the baby. She's not complete all the way.
You know, they cut her loose with what had to be the weakest rope in the history of all rope, because he barely even touches it. And you know the guy is supposed to be Quint.
Oh yeah.
It's obvious that the guy they're trying to make him Quint, and he's at the end of the crane, and they cut her loose. And what happens the moment they cut him loose? Orca jumps out of the water and eats him. And Richard Harris is looking at him like, oh well.
It's like, no shit, let me call the Coast Guard.
So they're like, okay, go back to land. They go back to land, right?
And then they show the whale.
Then they show the whale pushing the female whale sideways.
And a whole bunch of other whales are...
He pushes them. He pushes her into the pod of the other whales, and the other whales are like, bro, she's gone, bro.
It's like necrophilia.
And he's like, all right. So he goes and pushes her to land. Cut to the next morning when Richard Harris is like, I need to get my boat fixed. I don't need to talk about my crew member that died or anything like that. I need to get my boat fixed.
What did I call the cops for?
And as he's driving to the boat fixer place, he notices that Rachel Bedford is sitting on the beach, drinking wine,
and reading a story.
Reading a book, sitting 1 foot away from the dead smelling carcass of the female whale. She's like, do you know what happened here? He's like, I ain't got no idea. She's like, I know this was you. He's like, I know what you're talking about.
He's like, nope, wasn't me.
That's kind of funny, though, because like Jaws' response to this was in part 2 when they found a dead whale on the beach with a big bite in the side of its head.
I didn't think about that.
That's funny.
You know what's funny, too, is like in the first Jaws, when Chief Brody's walking with his wife to the boat, on the table of Quint's house, there's a dead killer whale there as well.
I didn't. Well, this was pre-Orca.
Yeah.
But so, and then they have Will Sampson, who was Jacob
Samson Smarty Pants
Umalek, and he played he was the Native American guide, right?
Poltergeist 2.
Yes, I knew he looked familiar. Yeah, that's what Deborah said.
Poltergeist?
Who died later on after that?
Boo.
Because of the Poltergeist curse.
Boo. So, he's all like, you know, people don't want you around here because there's this curse, and you know this is what's going to happen. And the guy's like, I don't believe in curses.
Wasn't this the same Indian guy in Willie?
Not the same guy, Free Willy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the Free Willy and Orca are the same. Like in the What If universe? What if?
Maybe Willie's.
What
a
if
baby.
Willie was the one that got washed off?
Yeah,
got washed off the deck of the boat and survived.
I could see that.
Anyways, so
that's why they kept him in captivity, because he was like,
so. So
he's like,
this
whale can't hunt for himself. Put him in a jar.
So come to find out that all these curses started happening for real, and like there was no more fishing. So this was a fishing community, and they have to, you know, they're saying that he has to go and break the curse. And Bo Derek broke her leg during the first attack when they cut loose the mother. And then one of the other guys, what was his name? I think his name was Paul.
Break the curse by taking out her vagina baby?
No, they needed to break the curse by, I think he had to create like a scarecrow or something like that. Anyways, so he goes and he makes a scarecrow of himself wearing his clothes. And the whale pops up out of the water. He's like, nope, that's not you. And then he starts. Anyways, this movie's horrible. That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. If you think, I mean, I thought the movie was great in my 5-year-old, 6-year-old mind.
When's the last time you saw it?
4 years ago.
And what did you think of it 4 years ago?
I still watched the whole thing. It was like nostalgic for me.
Well, I watched the same thing even without audio, going, man, this is so much better now that the audio died out. Because then we started making up stuff for it.
Okay.
We were making voices. We were saying that
Did you like anything about it, Deborah?
I like that it ended.
The end? I was like, I can't get my 2 hours back. I love
this movie, and you guys are shitting on it.
No, you know what I did?
Shit
What I
deserves
did, like-
shit.
Okay, so the whale's like all mad, and he's like trying to get the guy to come in the water. So he goes and breaks the pipes from the
He breaks the gas pipes.
from the little town that's right there, and the whole time goes in flames. And he's like, "Yeah, come on, come get me."
The whale starts swimming backwards with his two fins on the side, like, come at me, bro. Come at me, bro.
And the guy's like, "I'll get you." He's like, "I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere."
Shake harder, boy.
Catch it one day.
And then I told Josh that he was like, when he bit the girl's leg, and he was all like,
And not only did he bite her leg off, he bit the leg that had the full cast hip. The full hip cast.
Yeah.
So he broke off the cast and tore off the leg.
and I was like, "Pew pew." How does it go? I was singing it the whole
Deborah's
night.
like, pew, pew, that's a 22. And I'm like, what?
Pew pew.
That's a
No,
chopper.
It's a chopper.
It's
What?
a chopper.
I don't know why she got that in her mind on that
Because he
scene.
chopped her leg.
Oh,
He
my
chopped it.
God.
Chop again.
So Will Sampson gets on the boat to be second in command with Richard Harris, and they decide to go hunting for the whale, and somehow they end out in a glacier. Chuckles, how did they get to a glacier?
Yeah, they went north.
He went to Alaska.
Yeah.
Make a right, but by the whirlpool. And so
Did they even mention what ocean they were in?
I don't remember. But here's a movie. You deserve to die if the only thing you have to do to not be killed by the main villain of a movie, the only thing you have to do is don't get in the water. If you get back in the water, you deserve to die. That's it. Plain and simple. And spoiler alert, Richard Harris dies. And it's kind of ironic because he gets into the water and then Orca's swimming around him like, and he's swimming around him for like a minute, which in movie time is like an hour and a half. And it's in sub-freezing weather, you know, and the whole time.
Glaciers around, it's definitely under 70 degrees.
Yes, they're around glaciers. And Rachel's there and Captain Nolan's there. And he does. Now, this is what killer whales actually do when they're playing around. Not only do they like knock the seals and dolphins and shit into the air, they hit them with their tails like they're playing tennis.
It slapped the shit out of them.
And he smacks Richard Harris out of the water, and he's like, and his arms and legs are moving like he's trying to
So
run.
you mean
in
to tell
the
me that part's not entertaining at all?
Well, yes, because it brought to the end of the movie.
And we got to do their own voices.
The shark one was entertaining too.
Well, yes, it was. You notice that we're talking about the very beginning and the very end. All the shit that happened in the middle.
Yeah, the rest of the movie's trash. The rest of the movie's trash. After the vagina part.
But and he slams full speed against the glacier. And he falls down and he gets a little nosebleed, which means he's dead. Because he got whale slapped out of the water 150 feet into the air at
Straight into the
75
glacier.
miles per hour, straight into a razor glacier.
And the nosebleed.
And he gets a nosebleed, so he's dead. And now,
And he closes his eyes.
if you go into the trivia on ORCA on IMDb, the creators, the writers, and all that, did you know this part, Chuckles?
What?
ORCA dies at the end by swimming and staying under the glacier.
Committed suicide.
He committed whalecide.
Did he make the same weird noises?
No, well, we don't know.
We didn't have any audio.
Well, that's news to me.
But
Yeah, but if you look
Josh's
at...
part of it was very entertaining.
Yes.
Yeah.
Josh was like, "I'm a whale. I'm going to be under a glacier so I can die and go be with my wife
Yep.
and my baby."
A list of 42. Never mind.
What?
I was looking at the shark and fish horror.
And here's another thing that tells you that they rushed into it because they wanted to be like, oh, let's ride the coattails, the tail, no pun intended, of Jaws. This movie came out the same year that the book was written. The book came out, they're like, shit, we need to make a movie of this.
There was a book on this?
Yes.
No way. Who
Yes.
wrote the book?
The Arthur, I don't know. See, and here's something that tells you, and then I told some people, I think it was my parents, that Jaws was the first summer blockbuster, and a lot of oceanic coastal cities and that depended on beaches hated Jaws because it stole from their livelihood. And my parents are like, why? If you're scared of just don't go in the water. Which is like, exactly. But they didn't believe me about it. But if you look on IMDb, it says that starting in the 70s with Jaws in 75, right? Mm-hmm. Then Jaws 2 in 78, Jaws 3D in 83, Jaws Revenge in 87, Piranha in 78, 77 Tentacles, 79 Killer Fish, Barracuda 78, Tintora, whatever, the Killer Shark 77.
Tintora was a horrible movie.
This one wasn't? Blood Beach in 80, Piranha 2 in 81, Last Shark in 81, Up from the Depths in 79, Humanoids of the Deep 80, Screamers 79, Devilfish 84, and Mako, the Jaws of Death 76. So this started a whole movement of underwater creature features. Not Orca, by the way, Jaws. I don't know, last time Chuckles was here, we were talking about Jaws.
Yeah, I mean, that's right in the coattails of Jaws. But I think that's why it got me to watch this movie in the first place, because I was all into Jaws. And then I saw another Jaws-looking animal.
Yeah, well,
But Jaws is a good movie.
Jaws is a classic. And if you've got anything to say about Jaws, say it to Chuckles, because I'm going to be like, okay. But I mean, it's still a classic to me.
Anybody out there who has a disagreement with Jaws, come meet me so we can have dinner. And I can treat you right before I punch you in the asshole.
So the novelist of ORCA, right, was a novel story written by Arthur. The author is Arthur Herzog III.
Herzog
III.
Arthur Herzog.
And he wasn't even credited. And he was probably like, good, because his movie sucks.
Well, did you like anything about this movie?
The beginning and the end.
I like the idea that we were going to do a podcast about it.
Yay! And the conquering hero.
I told Josh, when are we doing comedy? I thought it was supposed to be horror.
Yeah, that's a bucket of popcorn where we can do comedy and stuff like that. Somebody's phone just went off. It wasn't mine. Definitely was not mine. See, mine is completely on. Oh, shit. Okay, there.
Ooh, the 2017 Umbrella Entertainment release of ORCA on Region
B Blu-ray with a new 4-minute
interview.
I can't say De Laurentiis. Martha De
Laurentiis.
Luenso.
In June 2020, Scream Factory.
Scream Factory released it with a Blu-ray with improved. Yes, first of all, Scream Factory, and then Region A. So you Region Bers, in your face.
How much is that going for nowadays? How much would you pay for this movie?
I would pay 75 cents.
I bet you this movie right now is going for like $100.
Now, here's another bit of information. I have to credit this to IMDb. It's in the trivia section of ORCA, and I find it very interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and read it. All right, Chuckles?
Alrighty.
All right. The notion of an orca mourning its dead mate might seem far-fetched to some. Nolan himself is skeptical that it's capable of such behavior. But in the summer of 2018, a female orca traveling with her pod off the coast of British Columbia was seen pushing her calf that had died about 30 minutes after it was born. She had been doing this for a week straight, even falling behind the pod. Marine biologists have come up with the conclusion that she is indeed grieving. Note that this might only be true for female orcas. Male orcas, like their dolphin relatives, are promiscuous and at best sexually worse. They don't play any part in raising the babies that they father. They certainly don't grieve for them. Oh, shit. I didn't know it was going to end with that.
That's hilarious.
It looked like it started very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, Orca, you are not the father.
So
I
was
said
right.
I wasn't in the first place. Look at that orca's nose. Doesn't look anything like me. Look at the orca's ears. They don't look nothing like
Orca,
me.
you are not the father. Yeah, Murray.
No, you don't get it. Y'all don't get it.
What?
Because it's like, Orca, you're not the father. Out the blowhole. That's how he
Yeah.
through the blowhole.
That's how the bass drops.
That's how we started, because the orca started
The
it.
orca started.
I told myself that whale was crying at the end, and it says right here, it is true.
Well, he was crying at the beginning too, right before it did the when it got Richard Harris's
What the
picture.
hell?
What, Deborah?
I'm reading the end of that part. So the males don't take care of their own kid, but they help raise their younger siblings as well as their nieces and nephews. But their own kids are like, nah, we don't want any of that.
But so it looks like he's crying when she first dies, when they have her up on the boat. It looks like
he's like, no.
How?
No! Like he comes up from out of the water and he opens his mouth and he's going.
See, now something else that says Robert Carradine's death is ironic as he is killed by the killer whale that saved him at the beginning of the movie from the great white shark.
Wah, 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 wah.
So he saved him just to kill him. When he saved him, he's like, nah. I just want you to know that it's mine to take and it's mine to give. It's not your life no more. It's mine.
Bitch. The body count is 5.
Body Count is a great rock rap metal band fronted by Ice Cube.
Meh.
No, y'all are supposed to say Ice-T. I said Ice Cube on purpose. It's
I
Ice-T.
never even heard of body count, so I'm like, all right, go ahead.
They sing Born
Yeah, Born Dead.
Dead.
They sing Cop Killer and they sing, man. All right, we'll have to listen to them after this. This podcast not brought to you by Body Count.
Or
but,
Ice-T.
Or Ice-T. But T,
Or
if you
Ice-T.
would like to sponsor us, we'd appreciate it.
We have any sponsors of this video?
We have our friends over at Deadlights Tattoos, 5418 Glen Ridge Drive. And then we are going to have some giveaways from One Up Entertainment at Pika Pika Plaza in San Antonio, Texas. And One Up Entertainment specializes in video games, collectibles, and movies.
You can probably
Physical
find
copies
Orca
of
there.
movies. We'll do what?
I'm going to text him right now and see if he has Orca.
Okay. Physical copies of movies, not just horror movies, any type of movies that you like. And I'm big about having the physical copy because whoever you're streaming from can decide one day, you know what? This movie hasn't got any hits. We're just going to make some server space and kick this one off to the side. So you need to have your physical copies, and you can go over to One Up Entertainment. I'm not sure. We need to reach out to him, see if he does stuff online too. But definitely at Pika Pika Plaza, One Up Entertainment. Tell Steven that we sent you, Cast of the Pod, and it will get us absolutely nothing. But
he is a sponsor.
but he is a sponsor because he's going to have some giveaways and stuff like that. I mean, we're not going to get paid for it, but it's just more stuff for y'all, and it just makes me look good. And maybe, sooner or later, I'm like, hey, 42 people went over there talking about Cast of the Pod. Maybe you should cut us off, 5-10%. You know what I'm saying? What?
Nothing.
So go over there and buy some stuff and tell them that we sent you. Tell them, hey, they sent us over here to let you know that, maybe 5, 10, 15, 42% should go, towards Cast of the Pod. Orca. Yeah, we're talking about Orca. Chuckles, do you have anything else to say about this dumpster fire?
I love this movie. I don't care what you guys say. Go check it out.
You have been warned.
This is not. I mean, if it's so shitty, you could watch it. If it was so shitty, you could watch it on YouTube by typing in Orca full movie, but you can't. You got to pay for it. So
because this movie's so bad, it's not even worth the effort of bootlegging it to put it on.
We don't sponsor bootlegging.
We do not sponsor. You need to get the physical copies at One Up Entertainment. And, of course, the thoughts and views of the podcast of the pod and the individual members of the cast of the pod do not reflect the members of anybody at One Up Entertainment or anything like that.
Sold. I love the movie. I say check it out. It's a great cheesy drama horror. It's Death Wish. The fuck was that? Oh, that's you.
Close to the well.
I thought you were like scraping plastic together, like you're trying to call a turkey or something. Go check it out. I give it.
We're not doing reviews. It
I'm going to
doesn't
give it
matter.
a rating anyways. I give it a 4 out of 5.
A 4 out of 5?
Yeah.
A 4 out of 5? What the fucks,
Give
maybe?
it a -0.
Damn.
Negative 0?
Negative
Deborah,
0.
you can give it a -1 or a -100.
No, I give it a -0.
You can't have a -0. Zero is
that
just
means-
zero.
Yeah.
The special
That
effects
means
are
it's
great.
more than just
The special
zero.
effects are bad
Less
even
than
for the
zero.
70s.
No, the special effects are great.
The practical effects, as in like when they're using the dummies, the fake whales and all that, I will say that was great. Very lifelike, very, some people might say mechanical, but it's like dying whales and stuff like that. So I was okay with the movement. And yes, I will give the practical effects a 5 out of 5.
Good, because I agree on the practical effects too, because that's why it has like the zombie blood
What
on
about
Dawn of the
the
Dead.
green screen?
But the chroma screen stuff was like, why'd you even try to do that? just don't do that.
Well, see, back in the day, people are used to having hair and lint in their movies, and they're like, "Man, look at this." Remember the floating, jumping hair going everywhere?
every now and then, it's like, why is there a curly hair in the middle of the screen? What were they doing when they were
ball hair is this?
when they were editing this dumpster fire?
Dude was jerking off and hair was going off everywhere. And it is the 70s too, so the bush was bigger than their hair. So like it like Foxy
You
Brown
have
in
been
their
warned.
pants.
Oh, let's end this
Like you
right
used to
now.
like have to clean your bush because it was covered in pee because that's how thick the bush was. And if you're really hairy, like you're Italian, it went all the way to the back. And then you had to have, that's where the word dingleberries come from, because 70s bush went up to your back crack and you had like really big chunks of hair stuck in spiderweb hair of poop.
Speaking of which, we need to bring somebody onto the cast of the pod to talk about arachnophobia.
That movie sucks ass.
I love that movie.
Yeah, that movie's so bad.
Oh my god.
Hello, that's like 100 times better than
Better than
Orca.
this?
That movie was not even scary. The only thing good about it was Roseanne's husband was there.
All right, we're going to go ahead and we're gonna, John Goodman. John Goodman is the saint.
I like John Goodman. That's why it's the only good thing about it.
No,
All right.
it's not.
So we're going to end.
John
We're
Goodman's
going to
not a saint.
end. We're going to end this podcast. Orca.
I kicked
You've been
him.
listening to the cast of the pod featuring myself, Josh,
And me, Deb,
and our special guest host for today,
the Orca.
Chuckles.
Chuckles. And yeah, we hope you've enjoyed this past almost hour of us talking about what happened in
How
6 minutes.
Horrible.
And if you want to be on the cast of the pod, let us know. Hit us up, direct message, email, or slide into the DMs or however you do that. And all of our social media, that's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, is Cast of the Pod. CAST of the POD. All right.
And if you have a movie that we haven't seen, don't worry, we'll watch it. I mean, we sat through this one.
It doesn't matter if you're a friend of ours that we've known for decades, or if we've never talked to you. You know, hit us up. You don't have to be an old acquaintance or anything like that. Complete total strangers. You can call in. We have a number. Are we going to put the number out?
Yeah.
Chuckles, did you know about the number? We have a number to call to be on the podcast.
I got your phone number and I got Deb's phone number.
No, our phone number to talk to the cast of the pod
That's the pod.
is 20-976-EVIL-9.
What's that in numbers?
I don't know.
Good.
20-976-EVIL-9.
You can just remember it like that.
All right, so until next time, I'm Josh.
And I'm Deb.
And I'm your special guest, Chuckles.
And this has been the cast of the pod.
Orca rules.
Oh, yeah, we're still working on the tagline, so stay scary.
No, the new tagline would be like, no, googly boogly.
Hey, Mark Ramsey,
Yes, big shout out.
he wrote us something, and then he ended it with, all right, guys, stay scary. And so, I mean, if it's stuck with one person, So that's it. All right, let's end it now.
No, do
Stay
the
scared.
go the googly boogly.